Alright, the Reds, it's Talking Reds. Friday's Talking Reds from Liverpool with me, Gareth Roberts, him, Ian Salmon. The Reds are back on Monday. The Reds are back in training at Kirkby. That feels like a big step forward to what we all want, which is being in the ground, watching the mighty Reds again. So, you know, we'll see all the stars back. The Euros will be over by then. We'll talk about that on Monday, whatever happens. We've done enough talk building up to it, I think you would agree. We did yesterday's Talking Reds, we did yesterday's Weekender, which is free, which you can go and get involved in. This is going to be more Liverpool-centric today, I think, which is nice. Feels nice to pull on the Liverpool-centric.
It means you missed my entire road to Damascus conversion to suddenly embracing England. This has been the shock of the morning that we're refusing to talk about live.
All of a sudden, the dead sound, and he wants them all to win. Well, fair play. Look, you know, it's a strange world we live in.
I never said I wasn't a hypocrite.
But the Reds, I mean, the other thing that's going to happen with the Reds and all clubs now, obviously, is that the Euros will be over, as I say, come Sunday evening. I think all the transfer talk all of a sudden was going to ramp right up. You imagine moves start to happen, and it feels to me a little bit like someone. I know United have done Sancho and stuff like that, but it feels like a few other things need to happen, and then we'll see, like, you know, it'll all start moving. Yeah. It feels like everyone's waiting a little bit to see what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, I mean, the question on that is, have United actually done Sancho? Because they've clearly done Sancho, but it hasn't actually happened yet, has it? It's not officially happened.
I think they flashed stuff up on the Twitter and stuff like that.
Have they really gone for it? Because obviously I don't watch Man United's Twitter feed, but it does feel like the chip starts to fall, don't they? I mean, people have been talking about the fact that people can't do deals during the Euros. Well, Man United clearly have done a deal during the Euros, and Sancho clearly has had conversations, which may well be why he didn't play in the first couple of games. He may have actually, you know, they may have looked at it and gone, he's been distracted by negotiations.
There's also loads of time in the day to box it, though. I mean, come on. I mean, I get that it's
a big playing table tennis.
It's a big international tournament and all the rest of it. But you can only train so many hours. You know, you can only eat right so many hours. You can only play table tennis or whatever it is. There's plenty of time to pick the phone up and go,
these lads,
yeah, I'm into that. Yeah, I want this much.
These lads aren't having the actual conversations.
No, it's their agents.
They're kind of like, yeah or no. They've got people doing all this for them.
They've said this, they've said that. Yes, no. Well, Liverpool have been linked with loads of players already this summer. Every year I do think, like, someone somewhere will be doing it, but I always think maybe it should be me. You know, just keep a record. Keep a record of every single person that Liverpool have been linked with, and then say,
you should go for starting the stories.
Oh, I could easily do that. I've done that before.
Put one up now.
I've done that before. I've done that. I got one right once. I actually broke some news on my well-read blog once upon a time.
Who did you get?
Rodriguez. I just got a little sniff from somewhere, and it was right. And I remember it going up, and I remember getting loads of shit in the comments saying, "It were you thinking you're breaking a story there," and then I was right, and I was like, "Get in, fuck off, trolls." But we're not looking to break news here at all today. What we are going to do, though, is look at some of the latest links. So the Echo very kindly has rounded up Liverpool's transfer news and rumours from around the globe. What I like about this, I remember, you'll remember this as well, Liverpool's official website, once upon a time, not so long ago, started running the likes of that, you know, these rumours.
They have again this morning.
Well, they do now. It's a thing now. Yeah. But when it first happened, there was a lot of fume about why would the official website run gossip, essentially. And it's dead simple. Everyone fucking clicks on it.
Yeah, it's numbers.
Like I did some shifts at BBC Sport and spoke to some of the lads, obviously, while I'm working there. That gossip column that they run on the BBC, bearing in mind the size of the BBC's website, that is one of the most clicked things on the whole of the BBC. So everyone does it. We're doing it as well. So we've got Calvin Phillips is here today, which is I've not heard this one before, to be honest, with Liverpool being the link there. The I newspaper is linking him to Liverpool. But then the story goes on to say he has no desire to leave Leeds United this summer. I mean, that feels like a stumbling block to start off with.
That does. I've read the piece this morning, and it's a genius piece of non-reporting from where it comes from in the first place. Liverpool have been linked with Calvin Phillips. They'd like Calvin Phillips. We get linked with him, obviously, because we've sold a midfielder. We've let a midfielder go this summer. We possibly need a midfielder. I know my feelings about that. We need at least one. But we're going to be linked with him because he's prominent, he's playing well, he's English, we need homegrown players.
Every game.
He's played every game, he's looked excellent for England in general, he's been really constructive. and we need a footballer. Okay. He doesn't want to leave Leeds. Yeah, well, there is that, of course, you know, but let's link him anyway. It's this is wonderful journalism. I love it.
It is. And it's just funny. I think you just got to laugh at it and enjoy it for what it is. It is, you know, what everyone in the trade calls silly season, and it's literally where we are. So even the, you know, as you say, the sentence construction, you know, the 25-year-old's performances alongside Declan Rice reportedly have turned Jurgen Klopp's head. Like he'd never heard of him before. Yeah, who's this lad?
He hadn't noticed him when he played against us. He hadn't noticed him at any point during last season when everyone was talking about him. And all of a sudden, 5 games into the Euros, he's gone, do you know what?
He's all right, isn't he? Yeah. Who's this Wool?
So shall I give Michael Edwards a ring and see if he's heard of him?
Who's this Wool in midfield for England that signed this Wool? It says, however, the Reds will be left disappointed as Phillips' manager and former Leeds player Kevin Sharp told the Iron newspaper that the England international has no intention of leaving his boyhood club.
That's the other thing. When did players start getting personal managers? Wow. This just suddenly crept in, didn't it? So Phillips' manager, an ex-Leeds player, and he's sitting there going, hold on. No? I don't remember this lad. Do you remember Kevin Sharp?
No.
No? All due respect to Kevin Sharp.
I remember Graham Sharp.
I remember Graham Sharp. I'd love it if Graham Sharp was his manager.
Graham Sharp, Ugly Scott, Terry fucking Darracott. Anyway, Ben Davis, who obviously signed from Preston to Liverpool and then didn't appear and disappeared, bit of a Scarlet Pimpernel job. He's being linked to go to Celtic on loan. Now, Celtic were in for him when Liverpool were in for him, and then he chose Liverpool and all the rest of it. Says here the Scottish side were close to securing a $2 million deal for Davis in January before Klopp swooped. Now, I would question whether Klopp was doing any swooping. He didn't seem particularly enamoured by that signing. If you remember, he was saying, wasn't he, like, basically, oh, yeah, you know, we wouldn't ordinarily sign a player like this. We wouldn't sign a player
from the Championship, not,
but,
you know,
you know,
these conditions.
Here we are, you know, as there was shut, so we went a little.
It's kind of like, you know, what appears to have happened here is we've saved Celtic £2 million. We've bought a lad for them, and we're going to loan him and they'll pay his wages. They'd have been paying him if they bought him for £2 million at Christmas. So, Celtic have got a win there.
What's your favourite, like, little bit of, you know, random, like a phrase you always see in footy lexicon?
Oh,
because there's one here that I like. You know, I used to work on papers, and like obviously we were subbing stories like this all day. Until you saw it all the time, you know what I mean? And there's a classic here.
The fleet-footed winger, the German manager, the bespectacled German, the...
pint-sized midfielder.
Oh, the pint-sized midfielder, Sammy Lee.
Pocket rocket.
Yes.
Well, there's one here, pecking order. It says, Davis has yet to experience any action for the Reds. And with the return of Virgil van Dijk, Joe Gomez and Joel Matip, he will fall further down the pecking order. Now, this fella, Mike, who I used to work with, every time he got that, it'd start going. But, you know, like, what? Like,
there's only so many words in the English language.
I know, but some, like, you know, the wrap up in cotton wool.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's just, you know, war chest, transfer, like, fucking hell, I've got 100 million to spend this summer.
Klopp has opened the transfer war chest. The transfer window has slammed shut.
Yeah. All of these things. So, yeah, there's a couple of them. This one's... Like, when I walked into the office just now, I said, what are we going to talk about here? And he was like, Adama Traore being linked to Liverpool. I said,
that's actually, that's a little insight into how programmes work.
And I was like, all right, who by? Like, anyone good? And, you know, Neil was like, nah, everyone good's at the Euros. So I was like, but who though? And no one knew who'd linked them. Anyway.
But people are reporting them. Football
Insider have linked it. You know, them boys. Who are they?
What are they actually inside? Are they just inside all the football at the same time?
They're inside the Mars box room. It's a spotty teenager who set up a website doing transfer gossip. But anyway,
is it Darren Grimes' part-time job?
Could well be. But according to Football Insider, whoever he may be, Liverpool have told Wolves they're willing to pay up to 25 million for Adama Traore. The Reds reportedly made a shock inquiry for the Wolves forward earlier this week. Klopp's side are eyeing a move for the 25-year-old in a move to bolster their attacking options, and they made contact with the Wolverhampton outfit to register their interest. However, a potential deal for the Spanish international is some way off given difference in valuation, according to a Liverpool source. Yeah, all right. Fucking tomato ketchup. What do you reckon of that one? Let's take it as though it's real.
Let's take it as real. Okay. Shock inquiry. You can't make a shock inquiry. Two football clubs talking to each other can't make a shock inquiry. A shock inquiry is if Steven Spielberg rings me now and says, "What do you reckon, eh? Fancy writing something for me?" That's a shock inquiry. That'd be a hell of a shock inquiry. And I'd be up for it, yeah. Difference in valuation. We're valuing them at 25 million, they're valuing them at 50 million. And it can't be a shock inquiry because we've been linked with him for a year and a half. That's not a shock. It's probably about the 15th phone call that we had. No, we're still not interested in him, lads. No, we're still not interested in him. He's a good footballer. He runs. End
product's a bit.
End product is a bit sketchy, but you know you could probably change that. Jürgen could change that for him. He has done with other people. But I think we do need somebody who's more the finished article in terms of end product. If we're looking for adding to the front line, we're adding to the front line for a reason. It's not somebody who can come on and run at defences because Shaqiri can do that, Oxlade-Chamberlain can do that, so why would you spend another 25 million? But at the same time, Adama Traore, as impressive as he's been, isn't a £25 million player because they can get more than that for him. We've been to Wolves, we did the sensible thing with Wolves, and we got the right player from Wolves. 140
appearances in the Premier League.
How many goals?
7 goals, 14 assists.
So that, on basic maths, is 1 in 20.
So
1 goal in 20 games for a winger. That's
goals per match 0.05. Shooting accuracy 29%.
At 25, how much can you change that at 25?
What I like, look, I'm being a bit of a tit here. On his day, he's decent.
He can be excellent, yeah.
Yeah, you know, and he's hard work. He's a big lad. He's fast. He's difficult to deal with.
You don't knock him off the ball.
I like the story that he greases himself up with baby oil.
Does he?
Yeah, do you know about this?
I didn't know about this.
Puts it all over his arms and everything, so that basically when you're trying to grab him, you can't get a grip of him, basically. I'm into that. I'm into him looking for the edge. But yeah, they are the latest links to Liverpool this morning. There are plenty more out there. There are plenty of players that we've talked about regularly across the Anfield Wrap. And as we've said a lot of times on these shows, there is a regular show called The Gutter with Mr. Rob Gutman, the award-winning Gutter. Even Jamie Carragher's onto it. He's tweeting about it.
Carragher actually apologised for not describing it as award-winning.
There you go. So you know what I mean. If it's good enough for Jamie Carragher, it's good enough for you. You can get involved. You can subscribe to the Anfield Wrap. £7 for audio only, £7 for video only, a tenner for the full hit. And you can download the app, get free tokens and have a go at the premium content for free and then decide if it is for you. Some of the stuff that's on there at the moment, we've had there's an end of season quiz going on. Everyone getting stuck into each other on that, which people tend to enjoy. We've got various writing on there. Carl's done a piece about his reaction to Rafa crossing the park. There's plenty on there and there will be all the way through the summer. And as I said, the Reds are actually back in training on Monday, which means everything should be ramping up now as we gear up to the season and Norwich away on the first game.
Can I just push one show that I'm not even vaguely involved in, but I thought was absolutely brilliant. It's the 3 shows that John did with Cav, Peter and Richie.
Yeah,
talking about their experience in the aftermath of Hillsborough, their experience on the day, their experience afterwards. It's not easy listening for anybody at all if you're in a sensitive place, if you're in an uncomfortable place. It's not easy listening. I know over the last few years I've got to know all 3 of the lads and they're all cracking blokes.
Yeah, they are.
And I've spoken to them about their experiences and I've heard things from them, but I was still blown away by the contents of the show. It's really emotional, really affecting. And as I said, it may not be for everybody to listen to, but it's essential that it exists because it's getting out the truth that we weren't allowed to talk about for so long.
Quite right, yeah. There's been some good feedback on that. As I say, it's probably one of them where you need to be in the right frame of mind to sit down and listen to that one. There's also a Hillsborough Survivor account on the website right now to accompany that from Damien, who is one of the nicest fellas in the world, it's fair to say. What we're going to get stuck into as well is that, the new kit. So the new kit is out there, the new away kit. We talked about this on the weekend yesterday, but we've got Ian on now, so, different contributors and all the rest of it. What's your thoughts on the new away kit for Liverpool?
It's ecru and graphite, isn't it?
Apparently so.
It's Ecro and graphite, so I am happy. I love the Ecro and graphite kits. I'm not sure about the collar. I'm never sure about collars on shirts. It looks like a going out shirt, doesn't it? But it does look smart. I'm even having the teal. I'd have preferred if it was black. But I'm prepared to accept teal because it's nearly black.
You know the thing that bugs me about it, like I'm not going to buy it. I might buy it for my little lad, but I'm not going to buy it for myself. But the badge just looks like someone's gone, ugh.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like, I don't know, it looked nicer if it was like...
I don't know, you know, this is one for the teenagers, obviously, but you know those transfers you used to get where you lick the transfer and stick it on your arm?
Jag tattoos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the ones you got in the early 70s that were really, really shit.
In a 10p egg.
Yeah, that kind of thing. See, these are all current references. Everybody loves this material. It does look like that. I think the badge should be the same colour as the collar. Otherwise, it looks a bit faded.
Yeah,
it's nice.
It's all right. I think it's all right.
It's better than that blue thing from last year.
It's all right. I just think, you know, 1 year, could they just do traditional colours? I'll just keep saying it until I die, and I know they won't. But, you know, up the Reds. Last thing, Konate is confirmed as number 5 for the Reds. There was spoilers around his reveal video because someone who was there, you will have seen it. You know, filmed it, and then the official version's out there now as well. Both are great. He's great. He looks massive. He looks boss. He seems a laugh. Let's hope he's that good at footy. It appears he probably is. But he has got number 5, Genie's old number. As I asked on weekend yesterday, any favourite number 5s for the Reds?
I think it may be about to become Konate because he looks like he's going to be an adventure. This lad. He looks imposing. He looks very serious about his football. But it looks like he's willing to have a proper laugh off the field. But favourite number 5, first one I thought of, Ronnie Whelan. He was one, you know, it's what we compared Genie to. For those who don't remember Ronnie's playing career, what we compared Genie to for a long time. He's one of those players where you didn't realise what Ronnie Whelan did to knit the team together until Ronnie Whelan was injured.
It's funny that you mention him because it sort of reminds me that like we often can get stuck into like a thing of getting stuck into the culture around our club and our team these days. But even then, when Ronnie was playing, and like, you know, this is pre-internet and pre-Twitter and all that kind of shite, pre-all of this, he was one that got stick, wasn't he? He was one where, like, you know, there was someone that I can remember who went to the match who called, for whatever reason, called him Scoop, because he reckoned, you know, like in his opinion, that's all. He just sort of like scooped the ball. Yes, he was like, fuck off, you Scoop. And like, you know, just unnecessary, and just one of those mad things about going to the match where people just have beef with players. And Ronnie was one of them. I liked him. I thought he was sound for Liverpool.
Absolutely magnificent footballer, and he would be getting the stick that Genie got last season.
Yeah.
Because we have to have somebody in the team who gets stick. There has to be a whipping boy every season. I'm old enough to remember Carragher being the whipping boy for a season or two. It's just...
There's been loads of them, hasn't there, down the years.
But there's the number 5, so I presume, have you spoken to Carl about his favourite number 5 yet?
No, we've not had Carl on, but it will be Ray Kennedy.
It will be Ray Kennedy, obviously.
I mean, mine's Steve Harkness. Is it fuck? I mean, there's loads of people that have worn it, obviously. Wijnaldum, Agger, Barros, Staunton, Mark Wright, Redknapp, Tubman Picnic. Ronnie Rosenthal wore it for a little bit, McManaman for a little bit. Ronnie Whelan, as mentioned, Jan Molby wore it for a little bit, Mike Marsh.
Jan was good.
Ablett, Glenn Hussein, Barry Venison, Gillespie, Spachman, Dernan, Johnston, Walk, Sammy Lee, who we mentioned before, Steve Nicol, Hanson wore it for a little bit, Beglin, Thompson wore it, Lawrenson.
Yeah, there's some massively underappreciated names in there. Good player.
No, it gets forgotten, doesn't it, that Kevin Sheedy played for Liverpool?
But he would have broken through to the first team if it wasn't for Ronnie Whelan.
There you go. It's almost like we scripted it. We definitely didn't. Enjoy your weekend. We'll be back next week. That has been Talking Reds from the Anfield Wrap. Up the Reds.